happened in this calendar year from the global pandemic, the coronavirus, which has affected economies in different proportions. Well, we want to give you some highlights of the trading bell in perspective throughout 2020. We did speak to the topmost leaders, we spoke to the business leaders, and want to kick off with what they had to say regarding 2020. We start off with the Vice Chairman of the Nairobi Securities Exchange, Mr. Bob Karina.
2006, we brought in the automated trading system. And I was privileged to have been the chair of the implementation committee that brought about the CDSC and also the automated trading system, which therefore now removed the previous activities of writing or wearing the red jackets and giving your prices on the board. You see, before the 8 years, there was this system called open outcry, where you would see in the background of the exchange people fighting to give a price.
Yes.
So the loudest would be heard by the board writer to put the price. So if you are soft, maybe your price is not taken because it's the price that is heard clearly that is put on the board. Now, that was eliminated by the automated trading system.
Wow.
So the automated trading system was started in 2006, and it was done under local area network, the LAN. And what happened, the trading floor then was at the Nation Center. And that's where we had the machines, the computers, and every broker would send their trading dealer to the floor to come and now trade within the floor, but on machines.
The tourism industry is 10% of the GDP directly, and now we have evaluated it's almost 20% of the GDP because of the linkages to other subsectors. But it generates $1.6 billion, and also it employs over 1.6 million people directly. And this is a major impact by the corona crisis. We must have a recovery plan. The recovery plan I've discussed with the industry, and we have a whole raft of issues to discuss within government. So the recovery plan has been presented to the government. It varies from cash flow issues. It varies from a revolving fund, a recovery fund. It varies about how do we defer taxes. It varies about technology, marketing, name it. So there's a whole raft of recovery plan that I have forwarded on behalf of the sector to the government.
I think as we look into the future, I think the uncertainty continues. There's likely to be some technical recovery going into next year. You know, from a low base of Q4, you may see some shoots of growth. But I think fundamentally the economy will continue to remain challenged for a foreseeable period. Some people talk about some recovery in the H2 of next year, but fundamentally, you know, mindful of the fact that in less than 2 years' time, off the heels of COVID, we have an election year, and elections always tend to have 100 to 200 basis points of GDP growth. So I think, you know, elevated uncertainty remains. I think we'll see some recovery in some sectors. I think it will be a long journey to full recovery to pre-COVID levels. But what we like is what we've seen as a response to the economic contraction that we've seen. You've obviously seen some enormous physical support from the government, you know, with tax reliefs, direct injection of cash into the economy. We've also seen very concerted monetary policy easing globally as well as here in Kenya. And on the banking sector side, you've seen banks extend loan restructures to a tune of 1.2 trillion. You know, at Absa, we've extended payment holidays for 62 billion shillings, 30% of our balance sheet. As you have these enormous forces colliding and how the economy recovers as a result of, you know, these interventions, is something we have to wait and watch and see.
What are derivatives? What is the derivative market?
So basically, a derivative is a contract in which the price and the specifications of that contract are set for in the future. So you decide when the delivery date is, how much the price is, but it's set for the future. That's slightly different from your current spot market, which is what the existing shares market was, where, you know, when you go to the market now, the price that you get on screen now is basically your spot market. But it's possible that you can trade based on a future price or future delivery on a contract. And the contract could be the underlying contract could be in anything. Could be on the index, could be on shares, could be on commodities and the like. So the NSE currently has contracts on the index, the NSE 25 index, and on the a number of shares, the most liquid shares, counters.
Public-private partnerships. We do know that President Uhuru Kenyatta recently signed an energy partnership in France. Perhaps you could elaborate more on this, and what is the significance of that in terms of the bigger picture when you look at improving power transmission and making power affordable?
I want to say that as KETRACO, we are actually beneficiaries of that agreement which the president signed with his counterpart in France, because there are some projects which are implemented. We call them government-to-government projects. And one of the projects that was a beneficiary of that agreement was a Menengai-Rongai project, a 400 kV project, where GE, which is a government or rather a company that is based in France, are the ones who are meant to implement that project. Now, once the project is implemented, and that is Menengai-Rongai, is a 400 kV project, it's going to strengthen power in Menengai and Rongai, and because of the investments opportunities around Nakuru, and also we also have a very heavy production of geothermal, that is in Silali and Baringo.
Yeah.
So this line is going to be very critical. So I can say that we are very ready to commence that project once we address all the pre-construction activities, right from the environmental social assessments, resettlement action plans, and also obtaining the necessary NEMA licenses.
Well, 2020 did also see us host some of the young aspiring entrepreneurs who are keen on listing at the stock exchange. Well, under the Ibuka program, which is an accelerator program that brings on board young companies to be able to understand what it takes to be listed. Here now are some of the messages from the Ibukis.
Why Ibuka now, briefly, and what are the projections?
First, we promised our shareholders 25 years ago that one day we'd list their company on a stock exchange. So we want to take that step and keep a promise. Because these 500 people who bought shares in the company have trouble when they want to exit. We have to try and find a buyer for the shares. That's something the stock exchange does more efficiently than anyone else. It creates a market. So that's one. Two is that a 25-year-old is just about beginning their career, you know. And so in many ways, the hospital has been growing roots. The company has been growing roots. This is a time to really expand. And to do so, you need a partner, because to raise more capital, to take the model to other towns and places. So that's why we are coming on board to create a market, to find a fair value for the shares, to give our shareholders who may wish to exit a chance to do so.
I'm keen to find out, you recently joined the Ibuka program that is being spearheaded by the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Talk to us about why did you join? What do you see at the end of it in terms of how will it impact on your business at the end of the day?
As a founder, I've had the desire to run a professional company, a company that has systems, that has a lot of transparency, that has a strong culture towards its employees and also the customers, and that which appeals to the stakeholders, including the shareholders. And this is what really motivated me to join Ibuka. Ibuka not only gives us the visibility or creates awareness about us in the market, but it starts by giving us the basics. The basics, what I mean by basics is that they train you on how to run a company professionally. The nitty-gritties, the loopholes that might be there that might not make you attractive. And this is one thing that I've been really looking for. Apart from that is that we want to enhance brand visibility and to create awareness about the company. Yes, so this is the second thing that made us join Ibuka.
Ibuka, this program.
Yeah.
What inspired you to join? How did you know about it?
I knew about it through companies which, for us, we admire to get maybe to the level that they have elevated their business in terms of brand awareness, in terms of what we see them doing. And we also aspire to be maybe where they are. And some of these firms, when they joined, I thought of, I started now looking at and Googling and researching what's Ibuka, what is it all about, and that's when I realized that these firms are joining NSE Ibuka program just to elevate their corporate governance, do things differently in terms of how they present themselves as companies, and also take advantage of the platform that Nairobi Stock Exchange provides in terms of access to capital, which is a big challenge for SMEs like ours. So we hope and believe that this is the right program for us to take advantage of.
Interesting sentiments coming out of the Ibukis as you've heard it from them. And on that note, we want to go on a quick commercial break. We shall be coming back with much more.